So this little garden here, under that row cover is where I planted some broccoli and things, I don't know, a week or two back. And then today I finished spreading compost and gypsum, a little organic fertilizer here on this bed. And I planted out 2 kinds of cabbages here. But I'm out of row cover, so we're just going to cross our fingers and hope that things work out. I am going to sprinkle straw over and around these plants to help protect them. But I have been waiting to do this because we've been in like 20 to 22 degrees in the mornings. And the next few days, we are not supposed to be that cold. We're supposed to be a little bit warmer, not too much below actual freezing. So hopefully they will make it. Cabbages are very hardy plants, and I mean you can dig cabbages out from under snow, and they're perfect. So, alrighty, we'll just cross our fingers and hope. Alrighty. I've covered this bed with a fair amount of straw, several flakes all fluffed up. And you can see I've sprinkled it over the tops of the plants, fairly thick, partly because these plants aren't used to being out in the bright, direct sun, so that will help shade them and keep them from getting sunburned. It also will help keep the soil from freezing even when we drop down to 20 degrees, and that'll help them survive. And they'll just push up through the mulch as they grow. So as things start to warm up in a few weeks, they will really start putting on some growth and just push on up above the mulch and hopefully make some nice cabbage heads. I watched him. He flipped that piece of ice up out of a plant tray that was laying around the yard and trotted on down here so he could eat it. Are you eating ice? You eating dirty ice? You're goofy. Yes, you are. You're goofy. It's not even warm today, let alone hot. Funny dog. You are funny. So this morning I'm working out here in this greenhouse garden space. I moved all of this row of buckets and I laid cardboard down underneath of them, and then I laid some waste alfalfa hay on top. I did see that we had some nematode issues still, where the tomato plant roots had gone through the drainage holes in the buckets down into the ground. And not every bucket, just some of them. And I think what it is it's where there were garden beds in here before, and in those areas we still have some nematodes. And in listening to John Kemp over at Advancing Eco Agriculture, he was saying that you could get rid of the nematodes with molybdenum, humic acid, and sea minerals. Well, alfalfa is very high in molybdenum. That's why I see copper deficiency in my goats, because they eat all alfalfa. And I don't have a whole bunch right now, but I do have some kelp meal, so I'll probably put a little handful of that in each bucket. And while I'm waiting to get enough money to order some products that will be full of trace minerals, the sea minerals, and then humic acid is from when humus, such as compost, is breaking down, and it makes what they call humic acid. And so we'll be adding a lot of extra compost to the buckets. I did see a lot of earthworms down underneath the old mulch and the old stuff that was on the ground from last spring. So adding more will help keep the worms happy, and they'll keep composting, and hopefully this is going to do the trick against these dang nematodes. Alrighty, so it's Wednesday, and I am cutting up pallets and filling up my wood boxes because we have some more storms coming pretty soon. And my boxes were mostly empty. So I know I don't like to be cold. Well, it's Wednesday. Sometime after the middle of January 2024. I don't remember exactly what day I'm on. Got off my part-time job this morning and got a snack, and I've been out here cutting wood. I've been really liking my little Greenworks 16-inch electric chainsaw, battery-operated chainsaw. It's 60 volts. I'm just really enjoying how fast it can cut up wood for me, especially compared to my other tools. And I got a wagon full. Some of that's a little damp from the rain and snow, but it ought to dry out. We have more rain, and at least more rain coming. I think it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. And I don't remember now if there was any chance of snow in that storm or not, but who knows. So this morning, this is Friday, hello. I have been working out here in this greenhouse garden. I've laid down some more cardboard, as much as I could scavenge yesterday, and I put down some waste alfalfa hay on top of it and moved those blue tubs into place. I still need more cardboard so I can finish off this area, but I don't have any right this minute, so I've gone on. That's a tray of, let's see, Earliana cabbages. Earliana's a variety from Burpee, and I'm going to plant them in these buckets that grew tomatoes over the summer. Now, so there's a few buckets right around in here that did show evidence of root knot nematode damage, but I have not pulled the plants out. I didn't take out the soil or anything. We're going to try some experimenting here. One of the things I've done is I've added some gypsum, about a handful of gypsum for available calcium, about a tablespoon or two of kelp meal, and about the same of azomite, which is a volcanic ash product that's mined. And those two are for trace minerals. And I've mixed it into the compost a little bit, and now I'm going to plant these cabbages in here. All right, I'm over here in this little raised bed garden, and the other day I had started some peas in the house. I don't normally do that, but we had such a warm late fall that the birds and the rabbits and stuff were really still really bad, way past pea planting time, because I usually plant peas directly in the ground in October. So I started some in the house, and a mouse came along and ate a bunch of the seeds, but quite a few of them sprouted. I was actually surprised. And I planted them out here, and because it was going to be really super cold and they weren't used to that, I covered them up with the straw. And so now we're just going to kind of peek down in here. And I know I saw one a minute ago when I was looking. Well, it was here. There was a pea plant right in here. Dang. Oh, there it is. There it is. Right there. So I'm pretty sure the rest of them have survived. I planted them really deep and covered them with the straw so that they could have time to get used to being out in the colder temperatures. This morning I finished planting up some beets that I had started in the house. So there's a few beets in this bed, and now I have some pak choi that I'm going to plant out. And I was looking, and this is where I planted some spinach, oh gosh, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and it is beginning to sprout. So spinach does not like to be at all warm. It likes to be chilly. So I'm glad to see them starting to sprout though. I have never been able to sprout spinach in the house, really at all. And then I have some elephant garlic in this bed that's doing pretty good. And there's some Swiss chard that I planted earlier in the fall. I should probably pick the biggest leaves off of those, and I'll probably feed them to the goats. And there's a few bits of little garlics in there too. They won't be really big enough to eat this year, but they'll be big enough to plant next fall for the year after. So that's what I'm doing today. Let's see, where's the last beet? Right there. Okay. So, pak choi grows really quick and easy. It actually grows too fast in the house. You can see all those roots. But the thing is that if you do start them in the house and get them planted out pretty quick, you can actually get an extra crop out of your space. Even though these are usually ready in like 8 weeks or less, you could actually get an extra crop in by starting them in the house and transplanting them. And you can see that we got a few too many seeds in some of those blocks, but that's okay. We'll just cut them out as we need them. Let's see. Here. And of course, not every block manages to sprout a seed. Not every block has too many, so it's okay. It's okay. Let's see here. And you'll see I am planting these really close together because these are baby pak choi. They do not need a lot of space. 6 inches in all directions is plenty. And that's good. I plant most things on a hexagon, so they will be the same distance apart in all directions. I like that spacing that way. It also means you can get a few extra plants in a bed. So you see, instead of coming and making a straight row this way, I plant 1 and then 2 and then 3, and then I come over here and I plant a few inches away but opposite, so it's not in the same row. You end up getting a few extra plants in your beds that way. So the nice thing about these beds that have these wooden sides is I can stick my foot up on here and I'm not sticking it in the soil and compacting the soil, and I don't have to raise up the other side of the row cover. I can just work from one side pretty easy. It is a little stretch. I mean, if I wasn't reasonably limber, I probably couldn't do this, and I can't hold the position for a huge long time, but long enough usually to get my little jobs done. A lot of people are like, well, why don't you just direct seed? Well, I could, and again, I've had so much trouble with rabbits and squirrels and birds and things, and I couldn't, not every place can I get covered up and protected. So that's another thing about starting things in the house or in a sheltered spot where birds and things can't pull your seeds up. A lot of people think their seed is bad. The seed is not bad. The birds came and ate it before you ever saw it sprouting, because the grackles will do that. So, a little better view of what I'm doing here. Come on, get out of there. I'm just plopping them in a little hole and tucking them in. And then I'll get the water hose in a little bit and water them in real good. Get the soil settled around their roots. Make sure they have enough moisture. Just because it's winter and just because it rained doesn't mean that we have enough water yet. Because the ground 8, 10, 12 inches down is dry as a bone. Because we have just not had enough water this whole year. So, let's see, right here. I think I have another tray of pak choy in the house, and we will get that and just keep going. And then there are a few random green onions. Again, the mouse came and messed everything up in the trays. A lot of the onions did not sprout, or they were sprouting and they got destroyed by the mouse digging around in them. So I will salvage whatever is left. I have started some more trays of onions. I need to get some more started. I need to get a whole bunch of things started. I need to fix up my heat mat for my seeds so I can start the tomatoes and peppers. It is already that time. I can't hardly believe it. It is already time to plant tomatoes and peppers. Mary here with High Song Grows, bringing you Farmer Friday. Oh, Essie, you're getting fat, sister. Esmeralda's showing a little bit, but she's not due till April. So we're still milking. We'll dry up about the end of February. So this week has been a little better than last week. It was still cold the first part of the week, but now it's warmed up. In fact, we haven't even been freezing the last couple of nights. But we do have rain coming in, I think Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I think the temps are going to drop back down a little bit, but not as cold as they were. 20 was a little much for me. What have I been doing this week? A little bit of picking up, a little bit of trash, some gardening, just trying to get things situated and organized. Oh, girlie, you're breaking my back. We gotta work on this milk stand. It's leaning a little bit, and I don't know if it's, and partly it's the ground, I think, more than anything, but she's pushing me off. Let's see. Digger dog has had some good moments and some bad moments. It's kind of like 1 minute he's listening and he's minding, and the next minute he's off the rails and doing stuff he's not supposed to be doing and tearing things up and trying to eat chickens and chase goats and all the things he shouldn't be. So we have entered the teenage phase with him. And that could last, that could last 6 months or another year. You know, just seems about the time you think you're doing pretty good and getting on an even keel, and then stuff happens. The weather has been really pretty the last couple of days. I've worked outside a lot. This past week I got my little pea starts planted. I planted out some beets and some pak choi. And now I gotta get some more seeds started in the house. I gotta set up so we can start tomato and pepper seeds. Hopefully it will stay warm overnight, warm enough to get them germinating. I have a heat mat for that, but the heat mats for starting seedlings, at least the one I have, it doesn't have a thermostat or anything like that. It just gets warm, and it will keep the seed tray about 10 degrees warmer than room temp or so. So it's not necessarily like you have a thermostat and you can set it and keep it at exactly the right temperature. So the first few sets of seeds I start usually take a little extra time, and because it's still cool in the house. And then as we get closer to spring, they will germinate faster and they'll grow faster. So I have tons and tons of seeds to start, and probably not enough room to do it, and probably not enough hours in the day to take care of everything. I'm always over ambitious. Egg production has been kind of up and down. Of course, I can't blame them when it's 20 degrees and it's raining and snowing and stuff. I know we're not going to really get any eggs, mostly because the days are short and dark, but also because at those temperatures they're using most of their energy to stay warm. So just like milk production is down a little bit, and partly that's the shorter days, but it's also the colder temperatures. They're using more energy to stay warm. And also goats are very funny about their water. They do not like dirty water. And of course, if there's ice in it, they don't really want to drink. So when it's really cold and there's ice in the water buckets, I do haul hot water in the mornings to warm it up, to help encourage the girls to drink their water. But all of those things combine to give us a little less milk this time of year. And of course, with Esmeralda being pregnant, her milk production will naturally go down. And I'll look at drying her up, probably starting somewhere between the 1st and the middle of February, so she's dry by the end of February. That will give her about 6 weeks before she kids, to help rebuild her reserves and make sure she doesn't lose any weight, doesn't lose condition while she's pregnant and has her babies. Yeah, hi Izzy. So like, Izzy has a hay belly, you know, and you can see she's kind of bulging here, and this is her room inside. That's where her rumen is, so she's really full of hay. So she's not really bulging out sideways with kids yet, but if I look at her from the side, she is really dipping down underneath quite a bit. So I don't know how many kids we'll have this year. Last year she had 2, and for a while I wasn't even sure she was pregnant. And When I did finally decide that she was pregnant, I figured she was only going to have one baby because she wasn't bulging out a lot on her sides like the other girls were. But she surprised me and had two, so we'll see what we get this year. Alrighty, put Ezzy away and go up Bambi. Everybody's been really wanting to go browsing and eating fresh stuff, which I don't blame them, but not really a lot of fresh stuff to eat right this minute. Hopefully we'll get some kale and some Swiss chard going here pretty quick. The goats like both of those a lot. In the meantime, some days I cut a little bit of burrow brush or prune a couple of trees for them. A lot of it is just the time of year, the quality of hay. Hay is pretty dry. Since it was cut months ago, it's a little shattering, but the leaves are falling off the stems and whatnot. So not that really nice, tight packed, bright green stuff we get early in the year. Hopefully we'll be able to get some of that here in a couple of months. First cut. And in the meantime, we'll just try to make do with what we've got. Bambi has shown some signs of needing copper, which is not uncommon on an all-alfalfa diet. So I did just give her a copper bolus, and that should help clear her up. With her, what I see first is she stands around and she rubs her face. Just rubs the bridge of her nose on everything like she's really itchy. And rubs all the hair off. And then her hair will get a little funny. It'll like curl up away from her body if she's really super deficient. And the tip of her tail will start to get bald. So I've been trying to keep up on that and catch it at the first sign of things so that we can get it taken care of pretty quick. I've noticed that if she's real deficient, milk production goes down, just that by itself. And then after I give a bolus, it goes back up. Copper is necessary in the body for all kinds of things besides growing hair and putting color in hair. All kinds of enzymes and things that are needed in body processes need copper. So, yes, honey, it's a cat. The cat came in to eat, so yeah. Bambi and the cats, they're so funny. So I did not breed Bambi this year. The plan was that we would just breed Esmeralda, and Ezzy is due the first part of April. And then this year, 2024, I will probably breed Bambi and her daughter Pinto Bean. And I'm going to breed them both to Bentley. So I just haven't decided for sure exactly when I'm going to do that. What is your issue, honey? What? I don't think you ate all your snacks that fast. You haven't been. No, you still got a ton of snacks in there. Yeah. We're not going to get peanuts till we're done milking. You know that drill. Yeah. Everybody's been a little crazy the last couple of weeks with the weather being so weird, super, super cold, and now it's pretty warm for this time of year, and I don't know. And then I guess there's some sunspots or flares or something like that going on that can affect radio waves and things, and I figure if it can affect radio waves, it can probably affect a lot of other things. You know, it can affect our moods, animal moods, things like that. My two bucks have been really fussing at each other the last couple of days. And, I mean, they usually kind of fuss at each other a little bit at the fence, but not the way they have the last couple of days. They've been really kind of going at it across the fence. And I think that's kind of unusual because as far as I can tell, none of the girls are in heat, which is what I would usually see that buck behavior, you know, if there was a girl in heat running around. But as far as I can tell, nobody's in heat. Nobody's running over there getting the boys all excited. So I don't know what's going on. Just one of those things. So, anyway, probably not too much else to tell. I'll run a few clips and footage from this week. And we'll catch y'all next time.